Hey everybody, hi. How you doing? Oh no, I'm. Oh, it doesn't unmute. Hang on a second. Hi. I swear to God, I hit the right button, and it didn't do what it was supposed to do, which was unmute my mic. But it unmuted your mic just fine.
Hello.
It unmuted your mic just fine.
Excellent.
You were unmuted, but I wasn't.
Oh, then I should have done the welcome to Coffee with Curmudgeons.
I had so many things going in.
Today, I'm going for Polynesian sunset.
Nice.
What do you think? It's going to ease people. People are going to look and they're going to say, hey, I'm this whole pandemic thing. I'm so wired. I'm so wired. Hey, look at that shirt. It makes me calm. That's what I'm going for. You know?
It makes you calm?
Calm. It's very calming.
Okay.
They look at the shirt and they say, calm.
It makes you calm? C-A-L-M?
C-A-L-M makes you calm.
Just doesn't matter.
I'll have to pronounce the L. Calm.
Yes, calm.
It's a soothing balm.
Okay.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure.
Right, we want to make sure that there's no...
Oh, it's like I was just adjusting my headphones and I was like, it makes you do what now?
It's going to make you beep.
Yeah.
And then the little thing comes up saying, we'll be right back.
It still bums me out that my mic was muted because it was coming out pretty good. I mean, it was a little bit short, but that's okay. It bums me out.
Yeah.
I just redo it again.
Well, it's been a while since...
No, I know.
We've been
so weird.
We've been doing conversations.
So, something's wrong here.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, wait a minute. There's a hair.
Uh-oh.
And there's a thread. Someone's been sitting in my chair. Hey! And someone's been drinking my porridge.
Oh, no. And when I catch up to him, I'm gonna... Oh. I know, you graciously let me sit in the commander seat.
I know. I had a whole comedy routine, whole idea about that, but, you know. It was always a good idea. You know what? When it doesn't happen, it's always probably a good idea. It didn't happen.
It's always on paper, right?
Yeah.
Theoretically, it sounds like a great idea.
Can you tell?
So
this is, oh my God.
So folks, we've been busy. We've been, took a little...
Yeah. This is why we didn't do another show after the Good Friday show.
Right, because we've been doing something called a new project. It's called the Portland Conversations. And we did, 9 shows? In a week and a half?
Yeah.
And it was...
I think the first one was a few weeks, and then it was just like, and it was just getting people scheduled and slotted in, and then it was like, okay, here comes everybody, and it was very short time frame and everything, but it went really well. It
went smooth. It went assembly line. Well, I mean, we cranked them out. I mean, you cranked them out. I just sat in front of a camera and said,
"Yeah, I know." I mean, hosting is you know, I mean, it's all of it. You know, I mean, it's like, but yeah, I mean, you got everybody in behind the scenes and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I don't know.
I was the wrangler.
Yeah, I mean,
the politician.
But you got to do that, right?
Yeah. Got a book.
It's like,
you
know,
talent relations.
Yeah, I mean, well, it wasn't really. I wouldn't call him talent, but I guess
politician. I don't know. What's the nomenclature for guest relations? How's that?
Yeah, it wasn't that bad to me.
No,
because here's the thing. I'm kind of not a fan of politics anymore. That's been slowly on a slow dive.
Slippery slope.
For last several years.
Yeah.
Even before 2016, I want to say.
Sure.
It was going. But the one thing we always talked about is local. Mm-hmm. Because, all politics are local. And that actually, the most that affects you is what happens locally. That actually, everything affects you. But, the local stuff's, even more so.
Oh, yeah.
And every time we've always done the local politics stuff and talked to people who are running for office or who are doing issues and stuff, it's always been real positive experience for me.
Yeah.
Because everything else is really negative when it comes to that whole thing.
Right. And especially during what's going on now, it's not like they can get out there and kiss babies and do town halls.
I don't think they do that anymore, first of all.
Well, I mean, they can't press the flesh, get out there, shake hands.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore either.
Right. So, I mean...
You can't do that very much either.
I thought what we did was pretty good.
Sniffing someone's hair or something. It's like, hey, what are you doing? Hey.
Right.
Oh, I didn't say that, did I?
Right.
Nope. I didn't say. I didn't suggest any candidate would ever do that. No, not
It
me.
is great to see you. It is great to be in Dubuque.
Exactly.
Oh, that hair smells terrific.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
No, they wouldn't do that anyway.
No.
But it was really weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird season.
Yeah.
And yes, one thing that you do when you run for office is you make appearances. You literally go door to door. You you have events. Mm-hmm. Events are good, right? Get a group of people together.
Town halls. Public meetings. Sunday go to meetings or whatever it is, and they can't do that this time around. Everything has got to be virtual.
Yeah, meet with groups.
Yeah.
That would be a thing.
Yeah, the Rotary, you got the Kiwanis, you got all the different groups in town.
Right. Pacific Northwest Leather Alliance. I didn't say that. I did not say that. There are no candidates. The
Northwest Bears Association.
Come on now. Jeez. See, look, we've had a lot of pent-up energy in here. Remember, it's hashtag comedy.
Right.
But although that would be good though. That would be kind of.
No, yeah. But
I mean, if I were running, it would be like, it would be like.
I'm going to the real underground.
Yeah. It would be, welcome, Leather Lifestyle Group. I'm running for mayor.
That's right. Man, he is going to make a great mayor. He looks great in buttless chaps.
Yeah, yes. Hang on a second. Could you quiet down the whipping for a while I give my little stump speech here? The thing is the background here is we may or may not have the Curmudgeons.
Yes.
In at some point, not the Curmudgeons show.
Okay.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No.
But at some point done some sort of production live from a lifestyle type venue.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, most people.
A few times.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think I was only at one, but
Yeah. It was interesting.
We're trying to get the mics going, and hey, where'd Doc go?
Where'd Doc go?
Hey, the mic's not. Will someone go find Doc? Oh, right. He's over there in the hot tub,
right?
Making friends.
Where is he? He's in the dungeon. Oh, he's okay.
We're back. Hi, everybody, we're back.
Hello.
Oh man. No, I didn't. Yeah.
I know we've had to talk so professionally and normally and. On the other show, because it's a serious show and we have serious topics.
I know.
That it's kind of fun just to get on here and.
Now that people are going to see this and be like.
Yeah.
No, it's a different thing. I mean,
it's totally different.
It's Portland,
Yeah.
I mean, all the people we interviewed, they're adults,
adults.
But. Yeah. But anyway, so they can't do any of that.
No.
At all.
It's
like
now
zero.
All virtual now.
And so, like, you're running a campaign, and it's like, oh, I can't even really meet people.
Right.
And some of the folks I saw, like, on their Instagram and all that, they were like, lawn signs is still a big deal.
Right.
And I know all of them were like, oh, get a sign, I saw photos like somebody's like out there with a mask on, putting the sign out in their yard, that sort of thing. And of course, social media.
Right.
Let's get social. It's social media. I never played you that song.
Let's get social.
That's actually a song on the internet.
Oh.
Okay. On the one hand, really bad.
Yeah.
That you can't do that.
Sure.
But think about it. What if this were like 1950 or something?
Oh man,
That would be really bad.
it would kill.
Like you have no
any sort of
phones.
Yeah.
Like all you got is phones. And I know some people said that they did work the phones. That's still a thing.
Sure.
But people have cell phones now. People don't. Now here's what I did that happened to me. I got a lot of texts. Well, a lot.
I did too.
I don't know a lot. It was reasonable. But every once in a while, I'd get a text, and it was like, "Oh, it's texting me," and it would be like, "Hi, I'm so and so, a volunteer for, so and so, and just wanted to let you know,
Yeah, because we did, a lot of the booking and stuff, and also from the past. I've been on just tons of people's like databases or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm getting tons of texts and voicemails and all sorts of stuff. And, I generally don't mind it. I mean, just a text, I just roll on and go to something else. But
I do.
This whole...
I mean, no, like... That's the first thing is like, how did I get my number? All right, okay,
But I mean, nowadays though, I mean, this is their bread and butter.
Here's the thing. I would totally roll with it.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is, right now, be cool.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, kind of having a hard time.
Stressed out a little bit.
Secondly, this is someone who's volunteering to do this.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to mess with them.
Right.
Even though I really do,
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to bust their chops too hard because, I mean, they are taking their time out and a lot of them are passionate about what they do. And,
they're volunteering.
I mean, even though you're totally wasting my time while I'm watching Netflix.
Exactly.
How dare you?
Yeah. I think I deleted them too. I can't remember who I got. I mean, the ones that I still have a DM in there from Elizabeth Warren.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's still in my Twitter, which I was like, okay. This was like from January or something.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever before, and it was like, oh, okay, Elizabeth Warren, thanks. And, where's my DM from Bernie, right? Well, now it's just like
I get
fossil. It's like, we dug this up from the dinosaur flats here,
Like,
I mean, it's like, what's the point anymore? Yeah, I was excited.
Wow, Geraldine Ferraro. That's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on primaries and the caucuses, and people dropping out. Here we are in Oregon. Oh, this will be interesting to see. Who do you think of? What are our choices for the primary? Oh,
I've never understood why they don't break it down into like 2 weeks. Half the country does it 1 week, and then half the country does, or just do it just National Primary Day.
Yeah, like
give people the day off, make it a paid holiday.
And you could. Here's another idea.
Okay.
Thinking out of the box.
Okay.
Hang on.
Okay.
Get this one. Ready?
Okay.
Oh, you got it over there?
I'm
what if people got their ballots, wait for it, in the mail?
What?
And could fill them out at home at their leisure and put them in the mailbox and send them back.
What? That is so crazy.
Exactly.
It's funny the people.
According to everyone in the country, that is crazy.
I know.
Except for the governor, Kate Brown of Oregon, who tweeted, "We've been doing this in Oregon for 22 years now, and it's working just damn fine. Thank you."
Right, but that's what they do in the military. It's
exactly
by mail.
Absentee ballots.
That's
what an absentee. In fact, there's always a statistic.
Yeah.
About in fact, this was an issue. Remember that was it 2000 Al Gore?
Yes.
Wasn't that an issue?
The hanging chads.
And counting the absentee ballots.
Yes.
That was an issue.
Mm-hmm.
That was in Florida. So there's always absentee ballots stuff. And,
always.
So
I don't understand. I've never understand the mental pathology of this.
So that's kind of, if I remember, that's kind of how we started in Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
We had a very robust absentee ballot thing, and then it was like pretty easy to get one, and then Oregonians just said, forget about it. Let's just
mail it in.
Mail it in. Let's just do everybody.
Yeah, it's worked here pretty solid.
We love it. Yeah. I love it. I remember. Oh boy, this was during the Clinton years.
Okay.
I want to say. I remember having to rush from my job across town in Beaverton or all the way back in horrible traffic, like on the, 217, I-5, all that stuff. I mean, to get home to grab whatever I needed to then go stand in line, figure out where my precinct, where I had to go to stand in line.
Yeah.
I remember standing in line for like ever and rushing. It's like, if you don't make it, you're not going to be able to vote. Man, that was bad.
Yeah, back when we had the polling places, my place was the Oak Lodge Fire Department.
Yeah,
and that's where the precinct was.
It was some church or something. I don't even remember. It was I think. Do they have them in churches? They can do churches.
I don't know. That's a very good question. I don't know.
I think it was.
I know they do. I know they had them in schools too.
Yeah, maybe it was a school. I have no clue. I just remember standing in line for a girl, and I'm on the phone. It's like, yeah, well, because we got a half an hour and the polls close or whatever. It's like we better get in there, and it was like, and then we get there, and it's like everyone else got off work, same deal, like during the day, during primary day or whatever it would be. People would make it, or maybe if you're close by, you could go put it in. But here's the big rush.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, everyone getting off work, trying to get in there. And you know what? People are like, oh, well, that's exercising democracy, isn't it? It's like, it's the 21st century.
Yeah.
No, it's not. You can exercise democracy all you want. As a matter of fact, as I often do, and here's a little funny thing. I had plenty of time to vote, but I didn't because we were working on that project.
Right.
And the thing sat there, and I was like, you got some videos to release and stuff, and which, doing my part for democracy.
That's right.
Until the day, and then I was like, I got to get that in. Well, there's a certain cutoff where it's not going to make it in the mail, so you go to a drop box.
Yeah, like library or something like that. Where they have,
and drop boxes are great. That's fine. You just, at your leisure, by the cutoff date, just get it in, fold it up, get it to the drop box.
Yeah.
It's just that easy.
Right.
I have no problem with even if people didn't do a mail and had to do it a drop box or something.
Right.
Because at least it's all ready to go. And you could hand it in.
Yeah. Yeah, I get nervous when you say the words exercise democracy, just simply because me exercise.
I've heard people. Well,
I'm kidding.
I've heard people say that though, like it's just not like democracy if you mailed it in or whatever, and it's like you can go have a party. You could go to the drop box. In fact, they didn't really have it that actually, especially this time.
Yeah,
and it's outside now.
Right.
It used to be at the library.
Yeah.
And now it's outside. And, at the library, sometimes there'd be people there taking it or whatever, especially as the deadline was going across. Now I don't think they did so much because of this whole thing and whatnot. And so that's kind of democracy-like. Well, hi, how's it going? Hey, turn it in my ballot. Democracy, right? Right.
Well, I break it down to its most the nucleus, the essence of it, and that is, did you vote? Yes. Okay, that's democracy.
Right. I mean, no, it's just the mechanics of it.
Yeah.
If you really want to exercise your thing, go work for a candidate. Go to their after party, right? Their celebration party or their we suck party, whatever.
Right.
Or whatever, you can still do all that. Well, of course, I guess you can't do that today.
Go to your
right. They didn't have those. Can you believe it? They didn't even have those.
Yeah.
Like they had no.
That's
they
true.
were like doing Zoom calls. It's like, well, it looks like you're winning. Yeah, that's great. They didn't. Because that's kind of like the perk of the election stuff is when all the people. Hey, I supported. Oh, come on down.
Yeah, there's some ballroom somewhere.
There's always balloons.
You're right.
Always balloons.
And there's always the guy from the media there, or the lady from the media.
As you can hear, it's always like this. As you can hear behind me,
right.
The campaign is very excited for the results.
And there's always that one person in the background standing behind the reporter that's like walking through and like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Never fails.
Things are looking pretty grim here at Campaign Central. The balloons are kind of, people are all like, it's not looking like they're going to get the required votes this time, I like those. I always kind of do like to watch those.
With only 4% of the vote, they're still very optimistic.
Exactly. Like, I love those in an election where it's the holdout. It's like, it looks like it's going to be a long night. They've sent everyone home here at the ballroom, and they'll be coming back tomorrow morning and calling, when it's close race, the people are just like,
Listen, everyone, we're only down by 27%. Go home, get some rest. There's still hope.
No, they always do that. The candidate will give that speech to them. Like if it's not clear. What you exactly said, that's what they'll do. And you're like, oh, the drama, it's like sport. It's like, ooh, the drama. We're down to the wire. I kind of like that. I actually,
it can be intense.
Yeah, I still like that. I still like to watch the TV news.
So do I.
The night of the election.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
And of course, I was interested in some of the folks we interviewed.
I was,
seeing how things, and that turned out very interesting.
It did. The funny thing about that is, by proxy, I almost felt like we had a little skin in the game because we were a little bit, however minute, we were a part of the process,
Okay, we didn't endorse anybody.
Nope.
And here's the great thing. Here's a pro tip.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do a nonpartisan. Is that be the right thing?
Bias-free?
Yeah, bias-free, nonpartisan political show, which is exactly what we set out to do. We gave them the platform and said, okay, here it is. We're not making any judgments. It's yours to tell people what you're about.
That's right.
And that's exactly the way we want to do it. We're not playing favorites or whatever, and whoever.
Well, at half an hour, it's an elevator pitch.
Yeah.
Tell us what you stand for. Tell us what you want to do. And it was
very interesting. I thought they were all very good. But the pro tip here is not have skin in the game.
Right.
Not being in the jurisdiction in which you're interviewing. So in other words, you couldn't play a favorite. It's like, it's like, well, actually, technically we can't vote for you anyway. So that even makes things better because, I like that. Yeah, I dug that.
So do I like the fact that we were able to get a whole bunch.
Non-biased.
And just talk about stuff.
Yeah.
I thought we did pretty well across the spectrum.
Yeah, me too. But then it was interesting to see how
it turns out.
How it turns out, And there were some surprises. So
there was.
There we go. So, we may be, this isn't really what we talked about here, but
no,
we may revisit that. There'll be an election in November. There's a lot of issues that will be coming up. So
yeah, I can't imagine us not doing it for the general election.
Yeah,
people dug
especially
measures and
this whole thing came up actually by request.
It was.
So yeah. I don't want to get into it too much, but
a nameless channel here, and
it was just by request.
Yeah. So we were happy to do it.
So it was like, yeah, cool, yeah. And it was like, okay, how long do we have? We can do it.
Such a fast turnaround too.
Yeah, and I finally learned how to do the Zoom.
It's one of those things that's going to be synonymous with this COVID crisis thing is Zoom. I'd never heard of it before. I've heard Skype and stuff, but I've never really heard of Zoom. It kind of took on its own.
Well, I know. And the whole thing is, Skype is owned by Microsoft.
Ah, yeah.
And then there was, remember Google Hangouts?
Yes.
Remember that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, well, for years when we do remote interviews and group interviews and stuff, it was always Skype.
Right.
Skype's like the original
one.
It's been around for
Yeah, 'cause it seemed like
almost 20 years, I almost want to say. Could be wrong.
Yeah,
but over 10, like 15, or I remember Skype early days, right?
But it was the one thing that pretty much everybody had.
Yeah, if you were going to do that, it's like, oh, you get the Skype. And then Microsoft bought it and all. So there's Skype, right? So you think in this time, oh, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
But like companies do, they integrate into their other products, and we've turned it into enterprise, whatever, you know. Okay, then you have this thing happen, right, where people have to remotely talk to each other.
Yeah.
Then Google has Hangouts, which is just like, Hangouts, baby, and it does all the multi-conferencing, share your screen and everything. I've used it a few times. It's right in there. You got your Google in your Gmail, you know, it works.
Right.
Oh, guess what they did? They discontinued the product a while back, right?
Yep.
Oh, all of a sudden now, and you know what? I didn't. That's what I forgot to do. I forgot to start up the phone line thing.
Oh, that's right. Hey, folks.
But I was gonna look in here. They just recently, like just a couple weeks ago. When you go into your Gmail now, they have a thing. I'll tell you what it is as it takes time to load. It's a new thing because they discontinued Hangouts, and it's like you know, and Hangouts was cool. Oh, Meet, it's new. Meet, start a meeting, join a meeting.
Oh,
I don't know their whole
I saw
thing
that
with
the other day. A little thing popped up.
Yeah, it's like, hey, remember us? It's like, yeah, we remember when you were Google Hangouts and you discontinued that. It was like, and oh man, so many like YouTubers and stuff, and of course a lot of YouTube people have been doing podcasts, essentially what I would call podcasts on YouTube.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And they would use like something like Google Hangouts or whatever so that they could remote. This was way before, you know, all this other stuff happened, where everyone had to use it. And then they discontinued it. It's like, oh, you can't do it. And you could broadcast like to YouTube from Hangouts or whatever. Google decided they didn't like that. And then watch our YouTube live is going to get killed.
Oh, no.
I don't care. But anyway, so they did all that, right?
Yeah.
And then they just canned it. And then they said, we're going to do something else. And that's a real Google kind of thing. We're going to do something else. We're just going to do something else.
So then you saw Zoom come to the forefront.
Yeah, and then Zoom just like was this
filled the vacuum
product, and it has its stuff, you know.
I got
there are issues, and I know, you know.
I get a little more used to it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff. There's some security concerns and whatnot. So, all right, you know, whatever. But the reason people started using it is it was easy.
Yeah.
You know,
plug and play. You just click it and you're in.
Yeah, and my experience was, especially when we did these interviews, once we, you know, adopted it, because we were all set up for Skype.
Right.
It was like real easy. You know, hardest part was I went in there and scheduled because there were like one-on-ones, and so I scheduled and just sent that info out. You could do a default one, but see, that would be bad for what we were doing. We want individual. You don't want like the one guy doing an interview and then the other guy shows up. It's like, hey, we're running against each other. How you doing? Right? And it's like, ooh, instant debate. Right?
That's right.
We weren't doing.
No,
we weren't doing that.
No.
So
should we give the phone number?
Yes.
All right, folks. Coffee with Curmudgeons, the hotline, the red hotline tip line. If you want to talk or just hang out or just call us names, you can do that at You can do that at 503-395-5040. Again, 503-395-5040. And you can call and talk to us about whatever. Because it's been a while, so there's a lot of stuff to yak about.
Yeah, there is. Oh, there we go.
I mean, there's so much stuff in the pipeline. I mean, sometime I want to know about yodeling.
Yeah, I know.
I got to do the yodeling. I mean, I'm intrigued by that.
We got a lot of stuff. There's never
a shortage,
a lack. But
yeah.
then we just like don't get to it. You sure?
It happens.
Okay, so yeah, I've really wanted a haircut for a long time now. So here's what happened.
A quarantine cut.
Right before everything kind of got shut down and locked down.
Yeah.
That weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Things were going. I was doing a bunch of stuff like you do, running errands and whatnot. And there was like the toilet paper thing.
Oh, yeah.
Which, you know, it's like I wasn't hoarding toilet paper, but like I might have been out of toilet paper. It's like, okay, I got to go find some toilet paper now. What's up?
Yeah.
And I got to go shopping. And I had some other stuff. I can't remember what else. Oh, I think I was doing a project or something.
Okay.
Just had all those things, you know, the typical things you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Projects, whatever. And on my list was haircut. About time to get a haircut. And it wasn't too bad, but it was like, yeah, it's gonna get and I'm gonna get really busy doing events, live events.
Yeah.
Getting busy.
Yeah.
Gonna get a haircut because I won't have time.
Right.
When I have to go do those events, because I'll be busy with those, and I like to have my kind of like my hair short, in adulthood.
Yeah.
And I didn't quite make it, and I said, all right, well, I'll have to do it next week.
Yeah. Yeah, and then next week turned into 5 months from now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
SOL. So now I'm like trying to figure out what the heck to do because it's crazy.
I do have an idea.
Yeah.
We could send away for one of those Flobies. And
you know,
we could do it live on the show.
I saw people doing that.
Live on the show?
I saw people cutting their own hair.
Yeah.
I've never ever done that. And I don't know the first thing about it.
My son did that, except he likes his as a one, it's almost like, not a flat top, but it's like just one length.
Yeah.
So, I mean, his was just very easy. And me, yeah.
I know, look at you.
I don't have to worry about it.
I know.
But
I know, I'm talking to the bald guy about haircuts.
Right.
So, I mean, I was like, one day I was so frustrated. I was like, I almost got the shaver out.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. Right.
And it would have been the first time, because I never was in the military like you.
Yeah.
It would have been the very first time I had ever cut my hair off. Like been like, all right, you slugs, get up here.
Sorry, you maggots.
Yeah, exactly.
Sit down that chair. Okay. Yes, drill sergeant.
Yes, I know. I was like, the great Santini. I am the great Santini. Right?
Right.
Remember that one? I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
one.
no. Geez,
Robert Duvall.
Been forever.
Great film.
Yeah.
Is that a Scorsese movie? Might be. Well, I haven't seen that one in years.
I don't know, but it's one of the biggies.
I don't know. Yeah.
They did that.
It kind of went by the wayside. Maybe because it was like a little too nerve-wracking for people who are sensitive. Because some of us grew up around or with people who were former military and did raise their kids like that. Hello?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We can't do that now. But anyway, no, I was like, oh, you're going to like this.
Okay.
I literally had the thought and then I was like, I wonder how Jason does this. I was like, maybe I should call Jason. Hey, dude.
I have a 2-step process. Yep. I have a 2-step process. I take the beard trimmer. I actually use a beard trimmer.
That's what I have. I have.
And with no extensions, I go right down to the 5 o'clock shadow on the head, and then I take my electric razor and go over it.
Actually, mine is technically called. You ready for this?
Okay.
Mine is technically called the body groomer.
Ooh,
yeah.
Body groomer. Body groomer.
Oh yeah. Which oh boy. Yeah. If that was impacted by the COVID, we'd really have some problems.
Yeah, if we get in the middle of manscaping, yeah, things are.
Yeah, no. I mean,
it's like the Black Plague at that point. It's
no. Well, all seasons are manscaping seasons.
Well, yeah.
No, dude. Look. yeah. I mean, if things go long enough with me, and I happen to be out in the woods, people are like, "Look, I think it's Sasquatch." You know, I mean, it just. I know it doesn't
Daddy,
seem
it's
like
Chewbacca.
that. Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like that,
Yeah.
and probably it doesn't seem that way because you take care of yourself in that way.
Sure.
But believe me, yeah. Oh, au naturel is not good.
I can't do that. I mean, my hair.
Chewbacca is
my
right.
hair migrated south, so it's like I have to, But I was thinking about growing a quarantine beard in solidarity, but I forgot one important factor.
Yeah.
The wife.
Yeah.
Ixnayed that right off the bat.
No, you don't look quarantined. You look well. You got the bald, so that's not impacted.
It's the
right?
Polynesian sunset.
You don't look like the rest of us. Like the rest of, like this.
You don't look like the rest.
No, you look like you're thriving.
Thriving?
Yes.
Oh my God.
No, you're fine because you already got the bald.
Pandemic
You got the trim
schmandemic.
beard. You're fine.
Yeah.
The rest of us are like I mean, it's believe me, this is like aquanetted down
listen,
here.
I get it.
But I mean, I wake up in the morning, it's like
Yeah.
I took a picture, a bathroom selfie, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And because I was gonna, if you ever remember the movie Tommy, based on the Who's Tommy.
Yeah.
They made a movie of it, and which had Roger Daltrey, and like the cover had Daltrey with the hair sticking out, and it was like, dude, I'm the poster of Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy, can you hear me?
Has it gone full Einstein yet?
Oh, it goes Einstein like the first couple weeks.
Yeah.
No, Einstein is stage 1, dude.
Oh, geez.
Then it just go, yeah. And the thing is it's not cool. The kind of the way my hair is, it's thick actually. See, and here I'm an old man complaining about my hair, which is not a thing you should do, right? It's like, you want to complain about your hair? You have it on your head.
Have you seen death lately?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the other reason I never wanted to shave my head, and I never have shaved my head.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Wiping out follicles.
No, I'm scared of the shape of my head.
Really?
Yes.
I completely understand. There are some people that look good bald. It's their natural thing, and then there are some people that don't. And I
remember Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Remember Dan Aykroyd, Lorraine Newman. Remember a sketch they used to do called Coneheads?
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm. That would be me.
Oh.
If I were bald, they'd be like, "Oh, dude, are you cosplaying the Coneheads? I love those guys." The whole Saturday Night, people don't even know the Coneheads for Saturday Night.
That man has a pyramid on top
they
of his head.
actually made a movie or two.
They did.
Of Coneheads.
The Coneheads, yeah.
I didn't
see do well at the box office.
Yeah,
but
and I think I saw it on cable or something.
Yeah.
Once. But yeah, I would.
We're from France.
Yeah, I would.
Well,
Coneheads.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, not just Lorraine. No, it was Aykroyd, Lorraine Newman, and what's her name?
Was it Lorraine Newman or?
Yes, she was the girl.
That's right. And then the mom was
the other one,
Jane Curtin.
Jane Curtin. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jane Curtin, Dan Aykroyd, and Lorraine Newman was the teenage girl.
Right.
Yeah. So I imagine Conehead.
Yeah.
If I shaved my head.
We could get a Flowbee though. Hook it on the end of a shop vac.
Here's the thing. So even when somebody cuts my hair, right? And even when I go in there, now it's really cool. Because I go in there and I have like a profile picture.
Sure.
That was taken, and I'm horrible with the profile pictures too. So someone takes a good profile picture, there's actually it's like, oh, that's actually halfway decent. Mm-hmm. It'll be another 2 or 3 years before I have a decent photograph like this. And so and in this case, the picture, I have a haircut like from a couple weeks ago, so the hair's looking about the way I like it. Mm-hmm. So I always go in and I go, okay, hang on.
I want to look like this.
That's it right there. Yeah. And so I show them the picture. And then it's just trying to get that shape right. even with the person cutting my hair.
Yeah.
And so if that's what it takes to get my hair cut, you think I could do it myself?
Sure.
I mean, I could probably do better going down to NASA, SpaceX, and helping launch that rocket next week.
We could get the Floby.
I know, dude. I was just okay. So here's what I did. Okay, so I got this.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, dude, this is gonna grow out, and they're still not open.
But see, your hair right now is not bad. Right now, you got like the '70s kind of vibe.
Exactly.
You know, it's like the '70s.
So what did I decide to do?
Oh,
match it up with the
stash.
Porn stash.
The '70s porn stash.
Oh, wait,
I love it.
I definitely should do this, right? Oh wait. This one?
Okay.
Porn stash.
Minute.
It's kind of, well...
Oh, wait a minute. I didn't even do the porn music right. Here, let's go back and let's do it again.
I don't know what you were doing.
Take 2.
It could have been Magnum P.I.
Yeah. That's right. Detroit Tigers hat. Bring a couple of...
Is that what he wore? Detroit Tigers hat?
Yeah, he was Detroit Tigers.
Oh, I totally forgot that. Yeah. I just remember the Ferrari.
The Ferrari.
You know.
I remember the dogs, the lads.
The dogs.
What was his name? TJ or... TP,
something like that, yeah.
PT. I don't know.
Magnum PI. One of those, like all those shows, Kick-Ass Mike Post theme. Driving the Ghost, you know. And it would always be starring Tom Selleck and Tom's mustache.
Tom Stache gets second place, right? It was great. And of course, then you had John Hillerman. He had a nice stash too, and he goes, "I am not amused." You know, doing that whole thing.
I always get him mixed up. Is he the guy? Is he the plastics guy, or is it the other guy? There's 2 actors, Hillerman, and there's another actor that and in fact, one of them, I think Hillerman might have just died. One of them died, and it was like I always get the 2 mixed up.
Yeah.
No, it's not Hillerman. It's the other guy. Okay, never mind. I got it mixed up.
Yeah, Hillerman was in like Blazing Saddles.
Was he? Okay.
And,
well, there's another actor that reminds me of exactly like him, and he's the guy. I know what it is. He's the guy who was the voice of Kit in Knight Rider.
Ah.
And he's the guy, and it's not Hillerman. It's the other guy. And these are guys. Both of them did lots of TV and movies and tons of character acting stuff.
Yeah.
And he's the guy, the most memorable scene where Dustin Hoffman's floating in the pool and he's like, "Do you ever think about plastics? Plastics is in is The Graduate?" Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in years.
And then he walks away and Dustin's floating in the pool and then you hear, "Hello, darkness, my old friend."
Right.
Da-da-da. Great movie. Great. Really, you know.
I haven't seen that in years, and that really broke through the Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh yeah,
because their first album had flopped.
Yeah, it would suck if you didn't like Simon and Garfunkel and you watched The Graduate. They would be like, "They're probably not a good movie for." It's sort of like if you were like, "Hey, I really like these sci-fi movies, this Star Wars. What do you think of John Williams?" I think he kind of sucks. Don't think John Williams is that good. No. Okay, well, that's too bad for you. You know.
Right.
But yeah. But it's Hillerman. I always get him mixed up with that other guy, and I can't remember his name. Somebody might pop it up or not if they're on the stream, but it's that guy. It's not him. It's not him. It's not John.
Okay,
Hillerman.
Excellent.
What was his name?
Who did?
John Hillerman.
Oh, his character name?
Yeah, what was his
name? It was Higgins, right?
Higgins, that's right.
Higgins, yeah.
Yeah,
he had the lads, Zeus and Apollo.
Yes, beautiful.
Called them the lads.
Big dogs. And the Ferrari.
Yeah. But what? No, it was like TP or TJ. Who was the other friend's name?
I can see him in my head, but I don't remember.
Kind of like short white guy? Rick.
Oh, and he had the place, right?
Yep.
He had a bar.
He did?
Because not anyone, but Rick's place.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, in TV land, you got it.
Yeah. Wasn't that the bar in Casablanca?
Yeah, Rick's place. No, that was the Cafe American or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Rick.
Okay. I Oh, all right.
Yeah,
Well, whatever.
Yeah, it was Cafe American.
Yeah, but they would meet at the bar.
Rick.
Right?
Yeah.
Magnum.
Uh-huh.
And Rick.
Yeah.
And
TJ, JT,
whatever.
TP.
And then it was like helicopter guy.
Yeah.
And then they would talk about something that they have to go do, like
right.
A thing.
Someone from their past would come up and say, you got to help me. My husband's been missing, and there are people after him. And...
At one point, they did like a two-parter or whatever, where it was like, because they all served in Vietnam. They were in an elite squad, right?
Yes.
Wasn't that the backstory?
Navy intelligence.
There we go. And they all had, this is what I thought was cool. They had the ring. They had a ring.
They did. Like Navy SEALs or something like that.
Yeah.
SEALs ring.
And that's how you knew.
Yeah.
And then there'd be like some dude who showed up who got murdered or something.
Yep.
And he had the ring, and it would be like, oh, and I think they had a two-parter, a big one, and it was like, didn't they even do flashbacks to Vietnam or whatever?
They did.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was, this was like...
Because that's how the dude flew the helicopter, because he was a chopper pilot back in Vietnam. So,
right.
And then, of course, they all lived in Hawaii, and he was like flying a tour Hawaii thing.
And the magical thing about it all, and I was so struck in wonderment about that, is it was like 20 years in between Vietnam and then Magnum PI.
Yeah.
But he looked the same. I don't get it. The guy didn't age at all. It's magical.
Yeah. They were a little young. Like they were like 17 maybe.
Right.
Not like Naval SEALs intelligence or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. It was kind of like a head scratcher. It was one of those for the as Mystery Science Theater always would say,
Yeah.
repeat to yourself, it's just a show, and it really doesn't make sense. What? It really
suspend all disbelief.
Yeah.
The cool thing about those flashback scenes is Tom Selleck had like the different green camouflage paint on his face, and his mustache had its own camouflage. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Dude, what am I gonna do? The hair's growing out, right? And I'm just like,
grow a stash.
I look, I got this thing. It's gonna get and like I said, I tried to do something with it before, but I put some hairspray and put some stuff in it so it wouldn't be like crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, if this is gonna be like this, it's gonna have to have something to balance it.
Every yin needs a yang.
Exactly.
So I get it. You want to, you got to have symmetry. You can't have it up here and not here. You got to have it a little bit,
Okay.
And plus, that's the code of the 70s anyway.
Okay.
Right.
That thing goes off. That thing goes off. There he is.
It's like 70s yin and yang. I mean, if you have shag carpeting, you have to have a lava lamp. It's just the way it is.
Well, that's the
that's
whole
an
thing.
unwritten
Shag
rule.
carpeting.
Yeah. And you got to get a van with shade carpeting.
Dude, that's all I could say. I mean, it's like, look, if you're gonna grow the stash to go with the long hair, long it. There's only like it's Tom Selleck, and like Harry Reams.
Yeah,
look that up.
Sam Elliott. Sam Elliott.
But that's more like I'm Sam Elliott. That's more like
the outlaw
Western.
mustache.
Yeah,
okay. I got you. Yeah, so
it could be like I always forget his first name. Mr. Brady. Never can remember his first name. I just Mr. Brady.
Mr. Brady.
Mr. and Mrs. Brady.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he had kind of the Tom Selleck.
He kind of did.
People, guys in the 70s. I mean,
it's the way it was.
Pretty much they all just look like
porn stars.
Porn stars.
They all look like Ron Jeremy in the 70s. If you want to know what the 70s were like, just look at Ron Jeremy. He's right there.
It's just like any 70s to just be like, everyone's got that. And it's like, I can never, that's the whole thing. I was just like, I don't care anymore. Because I can't look at a stash like that and not see, what are you doing? Sitting over here? Do you want to come join me? Sure. Oh, look. My pants fell off.
Turn on the effect.
Oh, okay. I got to find it. Which one, though?
The...
Echo?
Echo. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
See, that's what I should have done in the first place.
You
Porn
look
stash.
That's a good soundbite.
Yeah, I love it. Porn stash. See, it's,
I did the visual for you.
it was awesome.
With it.
It was awesome.
I did the visual. Oh, God.
It was fantastic.
It just
threw me right back into the 70s. Right there.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Gabe Kaplan had a great stash.
Yeah, but he had like a.
Well, no, but he had the fro, but he had that cool stash for Welcome Back, Kotter. He looked great.
Gene Shalit.
He had a great stash. He did.
And that movie was terrible.
That's right.
Yeah, no, you're getting a little off into the ethnic kind of
Gabe Kaplan,
I don't have a fro. I'm not.
No, but Kaplan.
I'm not from New York. I'm not Jewish. I'm just like I mean. Even though,
well,
I mean, those guys look. I grew up with all that stuff, right?
Sure.
So I grew up with the Gene Shalit movie review, and that guy was amazing looking.
Oh, he was awesome. He had
I mean, and that was the whole thing. If you're a movie reviewer, you have to have a look. You have to have a shtick.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, and he had like the fro,
the bro fro, and then
had sideburns and the big old Gene Shalit and glasses. And didn't he wear a bow tie?
He did.
I think.
He did.
I'm Gene Shalit. This movie was terrible. I've never seen a movie like it. If this movie were a paper, I'd line my birdcage with it.
Right? Why would they name a movie The Wiz?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wanted to take a whiz after I saw this movie. He was great. Gene Shalit was
Michael Jackson should moonwalk his way off the set.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know what he thought of The Wiz. Maybe it was...
I don't know. Maybe he loved The Wiz. I don't know. I'm going to have to look that up now.
He might have liked it. A lot of good music and performances. He liked it. I would guess he liked The Wiz. Although he was kind of salty about his movies.
He was.
He would, like, when he didn't like a movie, it was just like... It was really interesting.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
of course, you had, like, Roger Ebert, too. I mean, him and Shalit were kind of like the mainstays.
Yeah. But, I mean, but before, it was like Gene Shalit and Rex Reed.
Yes.
And who's
Oh, my gosh. Yes.
Oh, Rona Barrett.
Rona Barrett.
I mean,
she later went on to 2020, right? Rona Barrett for a bit.
Yeah. I think so.
Rona Barrett, yeah. Good call. I can get back in my 70s sort of
for me,
vibe.
Yeah. Jason, get with it. We're here. You can do the music. We're talking the 70s.
Porn stash. Yeah.
I got you giggling.
I know. I love it. It's just as funny the 73rd time as it is the first. I never get tired of it.
So I'm prepping because I figure that this...
Yeah.
It's going to get, it's almost... oh, boy. It's like starting to be like, ooh, the start of Rock Band season. I mean, it was like, another month or so, and,
It's like Tokyo Days revisited. What do you think?
It would suck. It would suck.
Yeah.
I did have this thought today. What if it goes another few weeks, right? And then it's just really starting to get, last time I had hair this length or further, and then everything's going to open up. It's like, I guess salons, get in there. And maybe I won't want to cut it. Maybe I want to go with it,
I kind of like it. You could put it up in a man bun.
Oh, no man buns. This is a no man bun zone.
I do. I have a problem with man buns. In fact, there is a Pavlovian response in me whenever I see a man bun. I sit there, I stick up my arm like that, I go, man bun!
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I do it. Can't help it.
Yeah, as a soccer fan, I appreciate your skills, but... the
man bun's got to go?
No.
Yeah.
It's man bun.
I've just never seen the,
No.
Yeah.
No.
Doesn't it almost like to me then, guys, if you got a man bun, don't take this personally.
Just
but it seems
do
like kind of like it's almost like smacks of pretentiousness to me. The whole man, but I don't know. Maybe
I just
because the whole hipster
soccer,
thing or whatever,
which I haven't been watching because there hasn't been any. I'm just starting.
They're starting to practice the Premier League.
But you know, like Gareth Bale and stuff, and you're like, oh, you're a really good soccer player. Oh, wish you didn't know that, man. But, I sort of get it on the soccer field because you have long hair, and then you put. Okay, so here's the thing with me too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is I don't get all the hair. Right.
Okay.
Again, grew up in the 70s and stuff. Yeah. So I grew up like watching the early NBA.
Yeah.
The Dr. J's and stuff.
Yes.
And
even Walton, man.
Walton, right?
Yeah. George Gervin had a
even what's his name? Kerr.
Yeah.
Who coaches the Warriors. Yeah. I think he had like a big flowy, but I grew up with the 70s Afro athletes.
Larry Bird had it, and down in the middle.
Larry Bird did not have
feathered,
an afro.
But he had it like feathered and everything, and it was.
I saw an old picture of Dr. J with the.
Oh, I loved his.
And I'm not sure where this picture came from.
Yeah.
And I didn't. It was weird because I didn't realize Dr. J was still playing. And to his right is a young, almost maybe rookie-ish or first year Clyde Drexler and Michael Jordan. And you know this because they both have hair.
Right. Well, that
both have hair on their heads.
Makes sense. They were 84, and
I didn't realize.
I think Dr. J was last year.
Yeah, it must have. Yeah. I didn't realize that Jay was still in the
Julie Serving. Yeah.
Yeah, that he was still in the league when those guys came in, and it's like, wait, who's standing next to him? Wait a minute, that's Michael Jordan. And then it's like, wait a minute, who's wearing 22 on the Blazers? That's Clyde. You know, and I'm just like, wait a minute. Dr. J, but he was still sporting a nice,
My favorite pictures of Dr. J is before he went to the Sixers. He was in the old ABA with the Nets.
Oh, yeah.
And the Nets, it's beautiful. Yeah. It's beautiful. Man.
But here's the thing. I don't understand it, though. I'm if that works for you. But here's the thing. With all the hair and then doing sports, it would make me crazy. I mean,
well, that's why
they would more fit in with like the NASA guys. Like, give me a buzz cut. We're gonna do some stuff here.
That's why though they had the headbands. They kind of helped keep things in place.
And when I was when I was doing the rock and roll, and the prerequisite was have the long hair.
Sure.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Well, it turns out,
unless you're Rob Halford, you can get away with it then.
Right.
But yeah.
But that's a whole different.
That's a whole different thing.
That's a whole different thing.
A whole different thing. We were talking about bears and leather guys.
Anyway.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But I had the prerequisite long hair, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And then it was just like, hey, you got to get all the hair. And then go out. Well, playing is a physical thing. If you're playing the rock and roll, and especially you're playing.
When you get the 2 cans of aqua.
Really, the most physical instrument in the group.
Oh, by far.
Yeah. Unless if you're a singer like doing David Lee Roth stuff, then that's.
Yeah, then you're hopping around
more
doing
so.
That sort of stuff. But no, I hear you.
I found out early on. Doing that and then being in next to the hot lights and all that stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah. I came off basically off of a set and I was just a drenched dog.
Yeah.
I was like your dog that you hit with the hose.
Yeah. But you can't do 2 cans of Aquanet before that or it's going to get in your eyes. It's going to start stinging.
And it did. And it did. Oh, yeah. And after that I was like, I got to wear a headband or something because I can't. I got all this stuff coming down on me.
Yeah.
And those lights were hot.
Very hot.
I didn't know. I didn't even think about it.
This is back before the LED, folks.
Oh, yeah.
This is back before the LED. Stage lights were usually, 104, 100, anywhere between 104 to 110 degrees. And you were just...
Funny thing about that is, yes, LEDs are better. Yeah. They last longer. They're more efficient with light and everything. Mm-hmm. Your bigger industrial LEDs can get really hot though, and it's not the LED, it's the power supplies. It's the power supplies that generate a ton of heat.
That'll flatten the big quaff real quick.
Yeah. So I mean, people were like, in fact, I have two LEDs that burned out, consumer grade. Oh, I know. I looked it up on YouTube, and sure enough, guys are ripping them apart, electronics guys, and see, the heat sink is not wired correctly and all that stuff. Yeah.
Gotcha.
They're just consumer. They were cheap ones, but they're cheaply built, and they can go out.
Yeah.
But anyway, they actually, if you touch them, you're like, hey, this is warm. It's supposed to be cold. It's the power supply is dissipating a whole bunch of heat. So whatever,
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah.
Yeah.
But those big lights, incandescents and stuff.
Yeah.
Those par cans and stuff would shoot out a ton of heat.
Yeah.
Tons and tons of heat.
Yeah.
And it's anyway. But so I never understood the whole long hair and physical activity stuff.
Well, yeah, you put it in ponytail. Nowadays it's man bun.
Yeah,
so,
I don't know.
Let me ask you this.
I would definitely be, well, like when you look back at the 60s, like Jerry Buss and those guys, they all had like crew cuts and athletes, athlete,
Oh, yeah. They all had the flat tops.
Long hair. Yeah, the flat top. That I could understand.
Yeah.
I mean, I never thought I'd grow up and have an appreciation for the flat top or the crew cut. Because when I was growing up, back in the day, like everybody cool had long hair.
Yeah.
The basketball players. And then, of course, if you were a musician or whatever.
It was a cultural thing, too. You despised.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I did.
Because then that means, like, you're, like, conformity and, you just, turn down that rock and roll.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you're suddenly in the middle of a Twisted Sister video.
Right. What do you want to do with your life? Because, you get the buzz cut.
I want to rock.
Right. I want to rock.
That was actually...
Yeah.
That was one of the covers. Did that one?
Oh, nice.
We're not. We're not gonna take it. No,
we're not gonna take it.
It's a cute video though.
Right.
It is back when videos were fun.
Niedermeyer from
Animal House.
Yeah.
Yep. The actor.
Is that a Twisted Sister pin?
Oh,
under uniform.
Under uniform. Yeah, it was great. Everyone was like. You watch. I don't think that people don't realize. I saw some old video the other day.
Yeah.
And you can find all this stuff on YouTube, right? And they're so cheesy.
Oh,
and they're so dumb. But the whole thing is what you don't realize is we knew they were cheesy and dumb, and we liked it. It was like, oh yeah, I mean, that was part of the joke.
Rat Round and Round, Milton Berle.
Oh, God, yeah.
When he's dressing up in...
I know what the video was because I posted it on someone's Facebook. The kid, was Spider-Manning up the wall, doing one of those, which I didn't think of the Spider-Man thing after the fact.
Yeah.
But all I could think about was dancing on the ceiling.
Lionel
Richie, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I thought about the original because it was actually based on, I think, a Fred Astaire movie.
Yes, where he's going around and stuff.
Yeah, it's the same exact technique.
Yeah.
So I posted the video. And so I watched Dancing on the Ceiling, the video. And it's just so cheesy. And I didn't realize, at some point in the middle of the video, Cheech walks in.
Oh.
Cheech Marin's in it, yeah. He just walks in. Speaking of mustaches, by the way.
Oh, Cheech had a fabulous mustache.
Oh, he's had a wonderful... That's one guy that rocked the stache.
In music, who also had a good mustache?
Because like in the movies,
yeah,
like Up in Smoke, doesn't he have like the stash?
Oh,
that comes
yeah.
It is like kind of handlebar, but kind of like.
Yep.
He looks great. He's like in the car.
Who's that guy? George Michael. Remember his very first? He had that stash.
I don't remember.
Yeah. He had a stash.
Oh, maybe
he did. It was. At first, he was clean cut, but then their second album and stuff. He had the 70s porn stash.
Yeah. I just thought it was clean. You know what? If it gets, I just give up, which I might just give up. That's the whole point. I just might give up. Yeah. I could just let the hair go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then at some point, like 6 months from now, it's like it'll come all down here, and I'll be like Motorhead, you know?
Yes. I'll say,
come in here, put a hat on.
Let
the
me,
ace of spades. Ace of spades.
Let me. You're alive.
Exactly.
You know. Yeah. I can see that. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no discussion of mustaches and facial hair, male.
Yeah.
We're focusing on this week.
Sure.
Next week we'll discuss female facial hair.
Sure.
But anyway.
Hey, ladies.
Would be Frank Zappa.
Oh. Yeah. That is Stache.
So I mean,
that is Stache.
So much so that almost his logo was his
Stache.
He had
the long black hair and Stache,
and kind of his he had a soul patch.
The soul patch, yeah.
Have you ever heard my rule about soul patch?
No.
Frank kind of breaks this rule.
Okay.
And you could see why he gets to break the rule.
Well, he's Frank Zappa.
Exactly. But my rule about soul patch is this.
Okay.
If you are sporting a soul patch, your name better be Dizzy Gillespie.
Ah, good call.
Yeah.
You need a special sort of mojo to pull that off.
Exactly.
You can't just...
Because I've seen some hipsters do it in recent time.
Like...
And
I'm
always like, would you like a knuckle sandwich with that soul patch? It just makes me pissed off.
Well, it looks like he ate a chocolate sundae and some got spilled right there and it's still there.
Yeah.
You know,
nothing says I'm posing to try to be so cool.
Now,
when you see Dizzy Gillespie, you go, I think Thelonious Monk at one point. I mean, you're like, okay, yeah, okay.
That's the jazz thing.
That's I want to.
Yeah.
I want to hear some Round Midnight. I want to hear some Salt Peanuts. I want to. This guy with the soul patch is gonna.
Dizzy gets it.
Yeah.
So he's, that's his.
You better be a hip jazz musician, bebop musician.
You gotta have the mojo. You just can't.
Yeah. And of course, Frank kind of had his own kind of a thing going on, but he was a musician.
He had the mojo.
Musician, so it was okay.
Yeah, Frank had the mojo. The mothers of invention. Come on.
Look, when you have a guy who looks like Frank Zappa, like this, right?
Yes.
The hair and the mustache and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he's coming out going, do, 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 do. Watch out where the huskies go. Don't you eat that yellow snow. Come on. You're okay.
Yeah, you're good.
You pass it.
Yep. You can. Stache passed.
Yeah.
Or
Dynamo.
Jazzbeard.
Dynamo.
Soul patch. Gotcha. You got to have that mojo.
Yeah.
Ain't no regular guy going to come off the street and pull that off. It just ain't happening. Yeah. I mean, come on. You can't put someone on an Evel Knievel thing and expect them to go over, the Grand Canyon. It isn't going to happen, right? You can't, get someone in there, trying to bust moves and he can't break dance. You can't let that happen. So you can't have it's just an unwritten man law.
I may be totally wrong, but I'm a dancing fool. Dancing fool. Dancing. Sorry.
We're gone 70s tonight.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, I've gone 70s.
Calling Doc.
I need
1978.
You know what I don't have? And I think I had these when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Because you could still buy them. I don't have an Izod shirt.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I do like a good polo shirt.
Yeah, but wasn't that more 80s, though, Izod? Early 80s?
It was 70s, too.
70s, 80s? Yeah, I got you.
It probably came back in the 80s. I just remember, the Izod, it was known for,
the alligator.
Dad mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
70s.
Mm-hmm. Yep, polo shirt.
Sure Mr. Brady had one. Huh?
I think so.
Yeah.
Of course, you could do it with a soul patch and really screw people up.
Oh,
They'll go from the eyes on the soul patch. It can be.
You see, was it you who were suggesting I do is it John Waters? No.
Yes, the John Waters stash.
John?
Yeah, John Waters. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know the pencil thin, almost Valentino stash.
Yeah,
it was very popular.
I kind of do that when I trim the beard. Kind of, I trim it. See, this is the thing. I'm letting it
Yeah. William Powell had
Bush
one.
out. Yeah, yeah.
It was popular in the 40s, 30s, and 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just, when I looked in the water, I'm not going to say what I said, but when I looked in the water earlier and I saw it underneath there, I was like, hey, this doesn't make me look like somebody else, does it?
That's a very striking resemblance.
Einstein!
Right.
Oh, God, no.
No, I could see the Stache, though. It wasn't just, it wasn't the,
Good. Yeah, I mean, I'm going for the,
Yeah.
the
You're going for the Stache.
yeah, I don't call it a porn stash.
Porn Stache.
Some people call it a sling blade. I call it a Kaiser blade. I call it a porn. Yeah. I never Well, believe me, I could go into a whole thing about probably inappropriate to talk about it.
Sure.
But I've never understood the porn stash actually either,
Yeah.
It's like, again, it's kind of like the whole thing with the athletes with very long hair and get very sweaty.
Yeah, you're right. The porn stash is because it.
Yeah, I know. All right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's a mustache.
Mm-hmm. We probably should stop there before we get, we'll Curmudgeons After Dark. Maybe, who knows? I mean,
Welcome to Curmudgeons After Dark. Tonight it's all porn stash.
Okay, I'm just going to lay this on you right here.
Okay.
One, you know how quotes from movies stick in your head?
Oh, sure.
There's a particular, and I have several, of course. Obi-Wan didn't tell you about your father. He said you killed him. Which we're going to get to that, by the way. There's all sorts of great quotes from movies, right? You can't handle the truth, right?
I give an offer he couldn't refuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One that has always stuck in my head along with all those other great quotes is, do you mind if I smoke while you eat?
What's that from?
You don't want to know. You don't want to ask.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's one of those.
It's kind of along the lines of the...
Debbie Does Des Moines?
No, it's actually from one of the most famous of all.
Debbie and Mrs. Jones. Devil and Mrs. Jones.
Stop it.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Deep Throat.
Bingo.
Linda Lovelace. That's all I'm going to say.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I was just,
Porn stash.
Wasn't it? Oh, yeah. Well, that was...
Yeah. And they all had the names like Chad.
Chad.
I mean, that's a porn stash name.
Chad, can you help me with the pool?
Right, Chad.
Speaking of Star Wars.
Okay. Speaking.
I'm trying to change the subject.
Segue.
I knew if I told you that. And of course you guessed it on the second try.
Or third or fourth,
I know, of course you figured it out.
I had to go through my vast library of porn movie names. Gee, he sure knows a lot of porn movie
Christopher
names.
Plummer said it to the Germans in The Sound of Music. Come on.
Oh, okay. That's true.
Excuse me. Do you mind if I... It was a James Bond quote. Do you mind if I smoke while you eat?
That's totally Connery right there. That's totally Connery.
Search your feelings.
Or maybe Bogart.
Do you mind if I smoke while you eat? That's actually what Darth Vader says to Han Solo when he invites him to dinner in The Empire Strikes Back.
Do you mind if I... Yeah, but I can also see Humphrey Bogart doing it. In this crazy world, doesn't matter. But by the way, do you mind if?
But all these great lines.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I just thought of another one, famous line. Gambling, the one from Casablanca, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I don't remember it, but there's all these great lines, and of course, one that sticks in my head has to be from a quote Hollywood movie.
Quote unquote.
Well, it was just like, okay.
There's one person out there I recognize that line. Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, I know I should do it. So Star Wars.
Yes, Star Wars.
That's a great line though too. When he comes, it's like, perhaps you could join us for. It's just what does he say?
I don't know.
Perhaps you'll join us for dinner. I mean, remember the door opens up and Han Solo and everyone, and it's right. Oh, great line. Billy D. Williams, Lando Calrissian says, well, I've just made a deal that I think will keep the Empire out of the city, Cloud City. And he opens the door, and Darth Vader's right there. There's like at a table, and Darth Vader's there. And the first thing, I always thought this was cool. The first thing that happens is Han Solo immediately grabs his blaster and just like, and just starts firing. Just doesn't even think, just starts firing at Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And Darth Vader just holds his hands out. It's like, perhaps you'll join me. You know? Oh, he holds his hand out, and then I think he uses the Force and pulls the blaster from Han Solo.
Right.
I was going to watch this last night because yesterday was actually the 40th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back.
Right. You know, that got me thinking, and I was thinking, so I looked, Googled it up. I wanted to see the chronological order in Star Wars movies, right? Like and so I guess the first one, though, at least in Star Wars time, is The Phantom Menace, right?
That's correct.
Okay,
yes.
so I'm going to go...
You are correct.
I'm going to go through and watch all the movies again in Star Wars order. Not like release date, but in Star Wars land chronology.
That's a controversial...
Oh, I know. But
There's some guy... Does that include the new movies, by the way? Exactly. It's like. Meanwhile.
Yeah, it's.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's gotta. As much as we don't want it. I mean,
that's a stroke-inducing question.
It is.
Oh boy.
And everyone stopped and started.
I know.
I don't know.
It sounded like 1 million fans crying out in terror.
That's right.
I think I have to sit down now.
That's right. Nearly knocked Obi-Wan for a loop.
Oh, yeah.
You had to sit down after. It was like, ooh, I'm not feeling well.
Yeah. Now,
1 million people shaving their porn stash.
Before those other movies, the new ones that have made, after they had done those George Lucas prequels with varying degrees of stuff, there was a guy who ended up, he was a teacher, and he made his list of how to watch them in order.
Okay.
And they're not exactly in order.
Oh.
I can't remember how he did it. I think... Well, I don't remember now. And it's called some order. I think it starts with Star Wars. I think Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
I think. Then Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and then Return of the Jedi. I think it's something like that. He does it like this thing where it's like, actually, if you watch them in this order, it kind of tells a really interesting story arc.
Yeah.
But I know that Revenge of the Sith comes like maybe Revenge of the Sith is before the Empire Strikes Back, or maybe it's before the. So it actually makes Revenge of the Sith and Return of the Jedi be like, oh, okay, because it's like I don't know.
Yeah, but I want to go in chronology, Star Wars world chronology.
Yeah, I've done it. I've done that before.
Yeah.
You know,
does it work or is it?
Yeah. Okay. So Star Wars itself. The original movie, when it was called Star Wars, not A New Hope or anything.
Right.
That's a standalone movie. It was made as a standalone movie.
Right. Yeah.
If you watch no other movie at all, you could just watch Star Wars. Okay.
Right.
And then it was successful, of course. And they did the other ones. As far as the prequels go, I feel, and I've heard people say this before, I almost feel like The Phantom Menace is a standalone movie. Episode 1.
Yeah, I get that too because he's just the kid.
Yeah.
And then later he's well into his teenage,
like there's a lot of
adult.
people who skip The Phantom Menace. Like in the prequels and then just go Attack the Clones and Revenge of the Sith.
I can get that.
Yeah, and I get that too. And what's weird, this is what's really weird.
Okay.
I mean, all the prequel movies have their problems.
Yeah.
But actually, after I've rewatched and seen the Phantom Menace. I don't hate it as much as a lot of people hate it. It has some overdone scenes and stuff.
Sure.
But it actually kind of works as a story. It has some pacing issues and whatnot. But it does kind of do things, and you're kind of, you're kind of introduced to the fantastical world of the prequels of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And maybe still to this day, actually, the greatest lightsaber fight in all of the movies is in the Phantom Menace. Because that Darth Maul, Qui-Gon, Liam Neeson, and young Obi-Wan, that's a badass lightsaber battle.
It is.
And remember when you saw the trailer and you saw it was like, well, okay, we don't have Darth Vader now, and then you saw that Darth Maul guy,
and the double lightsaber thing.
Lightsabers,
oh yeah,
and you were like, whoa, this guy's badass,
Right.
And he did a good job. That Ray Park. Where did you ever meet him? He goes to Comic-Cons and stuff.
Yeah.
Ray Park.
I've never met him, but
I'm sure he's been to I would assume.
I'm
Port
sure.
One. I mean, he's a martial arts dude.
Yeah.
And he's always like, I was Darth Maul. But
Darth Maul at the mall.
That's really good,
Yeah.
I mean, that whole lightsaber. And one of the most, John Williams wrote several iconic pieces of music for the Star Wars series. And up until that point, we had the original Star Wars music, of which Empire Strikes Back has a very iconic piece.
Yeah.
But I mean, with the prequels, John Williams writes this iconic piece called, it's like the Battle of the Wills or something like that. I don't know, somebody. The one with the choir and all that stuff, and and it all goes to this lightsaber battle.
Yeah.
And he's like doing the dark side and the light side fighting in it. It's really good. And people know who are Star Wars fans, they know that piece of music. It comes from the Phantom Menace. It was composed for the prequels. Now, John Williams does it again. Brings us another iconic theme.
Right.
And that's the one thing about John Williams, as iconic as his other original music is, here he does the prequels like, hey, here he writes another one.
Yep.
To be honest, one thing
I
did like about the new movies, he wrote a very iconic theme for the new movies, which I really liked. And it worked. It's too bad the rest of the people didn't
dig it.
Do as good a job. But I mean, John Williams still brings it.
Yeah.
Still brings it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the Phantom Menace is like, and the other thing is, before Disney bought Star Wars, I started realizing that the Phantom Menace was a Disney movie.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's a little kid. He goes on an adventure. He meets some Jedi Knights. He goes on an adventure. There's these fantastical, weird aliens. There's a young princess, right? I mean, it fits the Disney model.
Jar Jar Binks, the comic relief.
The comic relief. I know. And what is it that everyone hates in Star Wars is Jar Jar Binks. And if you think about it, like, what if you just said the Phantom Menace was Walt Disney presents the Phantom Menace? It's like all of a sudden it'd be like, oh, this is like an old Disney movie.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I don't think anyone ever realized it. I didn't realize it until later, and this was even before they bought Disney, or they bought,
Yeah.
Lucasfilm. I started realizing when I watched it, I said, okay, just step back. Say you don't know anything about Star Wars. You're just a kid. You're watching this. That's like watching an old Disney movie.
Yeah.
Like, it
has a lot of the Disney archetypes and tropes in it.
And the kid is the hero. Yeah. And old Star Wars fans didn't dig it because they wanted something different. That has a really bad evil guy in it.
Yeah.
Right?
And plus, it's got to start somewhere. I mean, he was a kid.
So if you actually watch it with that in mind, like, forget about Darth Vader, just watch it like it's like say you'd never heard of Star Wars before and you just watch this movie, this kind of space movie. Yeah. It still has issues with dialogue and whatnot. But
it would have seemed all right.
It's kind of a story and an adventure. This little kid.
It would have been built differently too. Think about it. I mean, like you said, Disney, right? So it has its whole sort of different vibe to it. Whereas Star Wars, you're expecting Star Wars.
I mean, it just plays like a Disney movie. a Disney adventure.
Yeah.
He meets Liam Neeson as the Jedi Master. Liam Neeson's great in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
anyway, so a lot of people take that out.
Okay.
Right? Put that on the side, which I kind of do see that. And then they do Attack of the Clones and oh, okay. And what's the other one? Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith is the one that everyone wanted to see.
Yeah.
They were working up to.
Yeah.
And out of all the prequels, I think it's the most favorite movie. And the other thing about Star Wars movies is, and you got to realize that, and I didn't realize this as an old Star Wars fan, a lot of old Star Wars fans didn't take to the prequels. Some did, but a lot didn't.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But there was a lot of kids growing up when those prequels happened, and they actually grew up with the prequels rather than the Star Wars that we grew up with. And so they're like Darth Maul and all that stuff, and Anakin Skywalker and all that stuff. And then there was a whole Clone Wars animated series for several years.
Right.
So they're like,
Yeah. Darth Maul, I dug him as a bad guy. He was a bad guy.
And then they, got rid of him immediately, and it was like, hey. So the only thing was like, hey, wait a minute. I like that guy. Hey, bring him back.
Right.
Tell him to bring him back. Anyway.
Yeah, they needed him around at least for another movie.
Yeah. Well, like I said, if you someday dig deep down into the Clone Wars animated series.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you don't have to because, well, I don't know if I should. That's a spoiler.
I don't care.
Yeah. Well, the back he comes back. Let's just say that.
Gotcha.
He didn't, and partly because the fans were all like, "Oh, we really liked that bad guy. He was interesting,
Yeah.
And so they finally found a way to just say, "Okay, we're gonna bring him back." They brought him back in a very interesting way in the animated series, and so now he, in the lore, and actually they killed him off again, but you have to watch all the animated, and he may appear in a movie, maybe.
Really?
Yeah. Hell, he may appear in. Well, no, I don't think he would appear in The Mandalorian. They're gonna throw everybody in The Mandalorian.
Oh, The Mandalorian.
I don't think he's around when The Mandalorian. Anyway. But they threw him in a movie too, and it was like, oh, and I already knew it was like, oh, I bet you it's gonna be him, and it's like, sure enough, here he is, hologram, and it's like, couldn't resist, could you?
Wasn't The Mandalorian set right after Return of the Jedi?
Yeah, and that's why I think the
collapse of the Empire.
That's why he wouldn't fit in. But Star Wars retcon stuff. That's all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, well, like Darth Maul. It's like, oh yeah, he actually didn't. It's like. Yeah. If you ever watch the Clone Wars, watch the Darth Maul stuff.
Okay.
It was actually very good. It's like, we want to bring him back. He's a fan favorite. So if we could bring Darth Maul back, how are we going to do that? Because last time you saw him, he got split in half and was going down the shaft.
Right. Yeah.
But no one's ever really dead. No one's ever really gone.
Nope.
But anyway, and they do a really... they do a good character arc with him.
Yeah. Nobody ever dies in soap operas.
Yeah.
And comic books. No one ever dies. They're always
which is why my opinion of most comic book, or maybe not necessarily comic books, but adaptations of comic books like superheroes and TV shows and movies.
Yeah.
In my opinion, from what I've seen, and I don't watch a lot of them, but I watch reviews, and I have watched some and then lost interest. They're just a modern day soap operas. That's all they are.
Yeah,
that's all they are.
To tell you the truth, I haven't seen any of the Avengers movies.
Oh, well, those are pretty good. I mean, they're some of the best. They're the best of the best, dude.
Wow. Yeah.
Did you watch any of them?
No.
Not even Iron Man?
I've seen Iron Man 1 I think I've seen Iron Man 1 and 2.
Yeah, well, that's a...
I haven't seen Civil War. I haven't seen...
lots of people really think Civil War is one of the best... no.
I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it.
No, what was... that was... I don't remember.
I'm a comic snob, though. I freely admit it. I'm a purist, and I think when Hollywood sometimes gets a hold of this stuff. They just
I still haven't
trash it.
I don't because I think it didn't make it to Netflix because of the Disney thing.
Yeah.
And see, I didn't watch it when it was on Disney. When I had the Disney watching The Mandalorian, that's how much I lost interest. Look,
Yeah,
okay? I lost interest.
Yeah.
I had little kids, little boys or whatever, or girl, whatever, and they were really interested in all the Marvel, Disney movies. I'd be right there enjoying them with them. But I'm a damned adult, man.
Yeah.
Although I did watch The Joker, so
Yeah, that's a whole different animal, though. I mean,
but I still haven't watched The End Game.
I haven't seen that either.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
I heard it's good.
I saw. What was the first one? The End War? I don't know. I did see that one, and it was on Netflix, and it was long. They get real long.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have to admit, these movies to me are like popcorn movies. I should be able to down a bowl of popcorn and the movie would be over. And there's like, the other one, what was the End Game? What was the one? What the hell was it? The one, it's a two-parter, right?
Yeah.
It's that one and End Game, right? And I didn't watch it.
Ultron, is that it?
No, that was a different one.
I don't know.
It's the last two.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't even remember it. It's the two-parter finale to the Avengers.
Yeah.
So anyway, I watched the first one.
Okay.
I did watch because it was on Netflix.
Yeah.
I think. I watched it online. And it was like, and the whole thing, it was like the girl from what are those guys' names?
Girl from
that other group. The other group. Because they all team up. They're not the Avengers, it's that other group. The one with the raccoon.
Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Yeah.
So it turns out that girl, whatever her name is, she's Thanos' daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was that movie. That was part one.
Mm-hmm.
I saw all that. And it has a whole big thing about her and her dad, who's Thanos, who's gonna like get all the stones and I don't know.
Yeah.
I think out of all the movies, still one of the best ones was the original Captain America.
I like that one. I saw that one.
And I know a lot of people. And the thing is I saw the Avengers because it was such a big deal, and the kids were around, so I had to watch it. So I'm gonna do the Avengers thing. So then it's like, oh, gotta go back and watch this. There was a Thor movie, and there's a couple of these Iron Man, and there's Captain America. Guess you should watch these. These are all kind of leading up, right? And they do tie in to the Avengers. There's bits of the story, which is very, very brilliant, and they're all pretty cool. Thor has Anthony Hopkins in it. And the one that caught me by surprise was Captain America. I was like, oh, Captain America, okay. I mean, I was never a big comic fan, so I wasn't like Captain America. And I watched it, and I was like, I loved the movie. It was absolutely a fun. It reminded me of the old Superman movies. Christopher Reeves kind of had that blockbuster kind of scrawny little, and also I really like that actor. Chris Evans is a good actor.
And also made it work was it was a period piece.
Yeah.
It started off in the 40s, and the Red Skull and that.
It was good. It was good. Great cast. Had Tommy Lee Jones.
Yep.
Had what else is it? Oh, Stanley Tucci.
Mr.
Yes. Tucci.
Well, you gotta love Stanley Tucci.
Yeah, he was the scientist. Remember?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, and the whole thing was like, right? We got to fight the bad guys. We got to fight those guys. Mm-hmm. I mean, the whole like World War II theme, and Yeah.
Instead of Manhattan Project, it's a super soldier. We need a super soldier.
Yeah. It had a lot of good pacing and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I really like that one. And then the Avengers movie. See, before I saw the Avengers movie, I was doing some events. Like there was one guy who gave a talk at this event, and he worked at, I guess it's ILM, did the CGI, I think, or Lucas, I don't know, one of those big effects houses, and the CGI was like really pretty groundbreaking, especially the Hulk and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
So he gave a whole presentation on it and showed examples. And it was one of those, like, I've done some of those before where it's like, okay, whatever you do, don't record this and don't mark it because we're talking industry secret stuff that we can only show to this event, but we cannot release this on YouTube or anything like that.
Right,
you know?
right.
And I watched it and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool effects, how they do that. You know? And so that, you know, then I was kind of interested in the movie. But anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still haven't watched the Endgame. I
like Black Panther. too. I thought that was a decent movie.
I watched like half of it and fell asleep.
Really?
Yeah. I really kind of got the whole Marvel movie fatigue.
Gotcha.
You know?
Yeah.
And I know that sounds really bad, but I just
that same thing with me with the Avengers.
I wanted to see the new Spider-Man movies, and I haven't seen one of them because I like the kid who plays the Spider-Man. Yeah. Like in the Avengers movie when he shows up in the Avengers. Yeah. And I was like, oh, well, that looks like fun.
You know, my son says they're good movies.
Yeah.
He enjoyed them. I just never seen them.
Yeah. Some people are split. The fans, I gather, are split. I mean, some people really like them. They're enjoyable. I mean, I guess they're enjoyable movies. Mm-hmm. But some people really like the older Spider-Man movies. Tobey Maguire, which I did see a couple of those, but I don't remember them. You know, those kind of movies. Mm-hmm. I gotta tell you. Yeah. It's like when you go to the 7-Eleven, you gotta get like I don't know why you go to the 7-Eleven, but. You got to get like a mask to wear, right?
Okay.
I don't know.
Or Slurpee. You want a Slurpee.
Okay. Well, what do you look at? Like maybe you want a candy bar. Right?
Yeah, or a Big Bite.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. To me, that's kind of what those movies are.
Gotcha.
Kind of a candy bar. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Godfather. Wow. Is a meal with all the fixins and a fine glass of wine or two, maybe a aperitif, you know. That's The Godfather, right?
Oh, yeah.
Those movies, no offense. Yeah, it's a candy bar. That was fun. That was cool.
Yeah.
You know, popcorn movie.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nope. Nothing wrong with that at all. But...
Okay. Everyone loved the Guardians of the Galaxies, that first movie. And nobody knew unless you were a comic book nerd.
I watched them, actually.
No one knew who the Guardians of the Galaxies were. It got great reviews, and it did really good at the box office. And everyone's like, you got to see it. I finally did watch the Guardians of the Galaxy. Fun movie.
Yeah.
First of all, if you could sell me on a talking, sassy raccoon, I'm in. And Groot the tree.
Oh, you got all that.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm like, yeah. You sell me on this. Mm-hmm. So, like, that one was a really good one. Guardians of the Galaxy. I like that one. Yeah. But again, it's like, for me, it's like, what scenes do you remember? There was a guy, and he was evil, and then they had to do something, and then a fight broke out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And there was that one weird character, and like the raccoon, the talking raccoon, I remember that.
Yeah.
Now every time I see a raccoon in the backyard, I want him to go, "Hey, what's up?" You know.
Why aren't you talking to me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But like if you made me have to recite, like, okay, what was the story of the movie and stuff? I'd be like,
right.
There's somebody evil. I know that. And then they had to, you know, it's like what's the whole Avengers? There's like these gems and like a glove, and they're trying to put the gems in the glove, and everyone's lost the gems, and they're going all over, and everyone finds one. Thor gets one. Captain America. I mean, it's like, and then I don't know. You know,
there's these gems,
and then there's Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
Right. And he's doing something.
Yeah.
You know.
Gotcha.
He's Elon Musk, basically.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I mean, and again, the casting is great.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. Excellent as Iron Man. Chris Evans, I'm a big fan of. Here's the thing, I've always said this. What my very few comic book experiences for various reasons. I won't go into it today, but there's a sad story about comic books. But anyway, but I used to read Spider-Man in the paper, and I think I maybe...
Yeah.
And this was when you'd go to the store, like you'd go to the doctor.
Yep.
And they do bad stuff to you, like give you shots and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Your booster shots.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, You're screaming, right? Exactly. And so you go to the store, you go, you'd be in pain, and you're can I get a comic book? I cheer myself up, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So I would do that.
Nice.
And so the ones I remember are, I might have had Spider-Man. I don't know.
Spider-Man. Yep. I love Spider-Man.
But the one I got that I always really dug was the Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
I was huge. I liked those guys.
Yeah.
That group.
They were good.
Because they were four. There were four of them.
Yeah.
They did different things.
Yeah.
They were actually kind of the first team up. Like they were like kind of the very first team up, right? Because they were the 60s before the X-Men.
There was one
X-Men
before.
came after, right?
There was one before.
What?
This was the golden age of comic books.
Yeah.
That's the before there was the Justice League, there was something called the Justice Society.
Oh, okay.
And that was back in the 40s.
Yeah, but was it separate guys coming together, or were they one team?
No, they were kind of separate guys coming together.
Well, like who was in it?
Yeah. Oh,
was like Batman in it or some stuff?
Justice Society.
or
Yes,
Superman
the
or
old Flash.
Okay, so
Was in it.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of like golden age heroes.
So like the Justice League or like because so here's the difference between them and the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
To me, the Fantastic Four, they're not really their own. They're the Fantastic Four. They're a team.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Whereas like the Justice League is
just a bunch of guys getting together.
It's Superman's his own deal, and Batman's his own deal, and Wonder Woman's her own deal, right?
Yeah.
But then they come together to do something. Same as Avengers.
Right.
They come together.
But guys like Fantastic Four and X-Men, they are a package unit.
Exactly. That's it. Like X-Men.
Yeah.
That they're like
the package.
I guess they go off and spin off, but really they start out as the X-Men. Right?
Oh yeah.
And the Fantastic Four is the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I know that there were probably spin-offs and maybe a Reed Richards thing over here, and they appeared in different things. I know that they did all that, right?
Yeah, but those are spin-offs, though. The main kernel of it is...
Yeah, they started as the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
You know? And so I always liked the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And that, my understanding, and again, I could be wrong because I'm not an expert. My understanding is they predated the X-Men. X-Men came...
Yeah, X-Men came after. X-Men or Fantastic Four was 1960, I think.
Yeah, I think it was early.
X-Men wasn't until like
late 60s, maybe.
No, they
early
were
70s.
No, they were around. I think X-Men came around in like 64.
Oh, okay, all right.
But there was.
But they were the next team up.
Right.
Yeah. In fact, when I first heard X-Men, people were like, "Oh, no, X-Men." I thought that Fantastic Four. It's like, oh, those guys? I like those guys. I didn't remember. It's like, oh, no, they're different. Oh, never mind. I thought you were talking about Fantastic Four. Yeah. But I think, didn't Stan Lee, he, did the Fantastic Four, and it was like, hey, this works. People dig this. And then it was like, hey, let's do another one. Let's do X-Men.
Right. They're mutants.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense, you know. Yeah. Well, hello, Fantastic Four. Kind of mutants.
Right.
You know.
Well, it's Cold War stuff.
Whatever that cosmic...
radiation stuff. Hulk gamma rays.
Yeah.
You know.
And as a kid, then I would get mixed up because even as a kid, like a little kid, then I was like, I would get confused with the Thing and the Hulk.
Right. Who's more powerful, the Thing or the Hulk?
But at one point, as a little kid, I thought they were the same guy.
Really?
Yeah, when I first saw the Hulk, I was like, "Oh, is that the dude from the Fantastic Four?" And I was like, "No, he's his own deal."
Yeah.
Same type of thing, though. Same riff on the idea, you know.
I would
be like, not like they don't reuse
one's
the ideas.
One's green and one has rocks.
Yeah.
No, I was much more of a Thing fan than the Hulk. The Hulk to me was one-dimensional.
I love that's okay.
He just got angry and then started smashing stuff. Whereas the Thing had he had a definite personality to him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, he
Ben Grimm.
Yeah, I liked the Fantastic Four even as a little kid because they weren't just they had these powers and they were heroes, but I don't know why as a kid I dug the fact that they were human. They would bicker. They were not, you know, like you said, the Thing was always on he and Reed Richards because it was like, and when you think about it, he had a point.
Yeah.
It's like, will you fix this, please?
Yeah, or the fights between the Thing and
Johnny
the
Storm.
the Human Torch.
Johnny Storm.
They would always, he'd always mess
Right?
with the
It
Thing.
is Johnny Storm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Thing would get all mad because, Johnny Storm's messing with him, you know, and so they go back and forth. And then in the middle's the Peacekeeper, Sue Richards, Invisible Girl.
No, that was Storm. That was his sister.
Storm.
Yeah.
No, Sue Richards.
Did they get married after that? No. That was Johnny's sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she's the wife of Reed Richards.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that happened later.
So, yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah. They're brother and sister. I know that, right?
Yeah, I dug Fantastic Four when I was a kid, though.
And the logo was cool. The four
logo was fabulous. And they had their own building, right?
Yes.
Fantastic.
And their outfits.
They're fantastic.
With the logo. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah. But
that was a whole thing. Except for Ben Grimm's outfit.
Right.
He couldn't wear a shirt. So it was just like
Rocks.
some pantaloons with a 4 on his belt.
It was almost like a Speedo.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it was kind of pantaloons.
Yeah.
I would say he kind of had pantaloons.
Yeah.
Could you cover your rocks, please, Ben?
Right. Cover your stones, okay? Come on. This is a family show.
He's got stones.
Yes. How could you tell though? I mean, unless a couple of them are like.
And I always thought
agates
Reed
or
Richards
something.
was weird, and then of course he was Mr. Fantastic.
That's right, because
I know, and you're like, oh, that's so weird. Like, as a little kid, you're like, what do you do if I could just stretch my arms out there through the whole, windows and stuff, and it'd be like,
you want a cookie in the other room? No problem.
Yeah. You're like, weird, huh?
Yeah. When I was growing up, though, my main dude was Batman.
Yeah.
I love Batman.
Well, I'm talking purely about comic books.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Mm-hmm. This is purely comic book stuff right now.
Okay.
Yep. Because, the big, probably the one that I grew up with the most was Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Because we grew up with Adam West as Batman.
Yeah.
And loved that show.
I loved it, but I loved the comic book Batman, though, because it was darker. You know what I mean? It was a little darker.
See, I read some of Batman, but again, I didn't read so much comic books, so I didn't get the Batman stuff. I did get Batman once in a while, and it would be like, because you'd just be like, oh, Batman, the guy on TV, Batman. They're like, but my first recollection of introduction of Batman was Adam West. Like, to me, Batman was Adam West.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I know a lot of people are like, well, that's really not Batman or whatever, but it's like, well, it just...
Yeah, to me, it was comic books.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was a real little kid, my dad we'd go...
You had to come.
Up in Oregon City, we'd swing by Steve's Market.
Yeah.
And his thing was he'd always let me pick out my comic book. And so it was, Batman, The old detective comics,
Yeah.
I dug that. But I love the Fantastic Four.
My dad would be like, why don't you get the job? You need a job. But Dad, I'm 4. No. When I was 4 in Germany, I had a job. Full time.
Right.
And by 5, I was making cars.
That's right.
It's like, oh, okay.
With my dad, it was all about mowing the lawn.
We were making planes for the glorious war machine.
Dad, keep it down, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Keep it down.
Oh, no. But anyway.
Not many people around here know what a Stuka is.
I joke. I do.
For the glory of the fatherland.
Oh boy. Anyway,
but I dug that. Daredevil.
We paint the letters on the zeppelins. Oh God.
You are not too young to do that.
Oh God. I know. Anyway, so no. I mean, like I said, I'd get a comic book from the supermarket.
Yep.
So, and I'd watch Batman on TV.
Oh yeah.
But I probably have mentioned before, but the guy that I really fell in love with, because he was darker. Mm-hmm. He was not Adam West Batman.
No.
Was the Green Hornet.
Love the Green Hornet. Yes. Yeah. Rick Reed.
Britt Reed.
Was it?
Yeah.
Britt Reed?
That's his
Rick Reed. Britt Reed. You're right.
I know my Green Hornet stuff.
Gotcha. And he was the Sentinel.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep, the Sentinel, which his father had owned.
Yep.
His father had
And his father got murdered, right?
Yep.
And then he took it over and
by the syndicate.
Right, by the syndicate.
Mm-hmm.
And
I like that. I like that because a lot of the stuff is he was up against the syndicate.
Yep.
Corruption.
Yep.
And then he had Kato.
He had the Irish reporter too. What was his name?
Oh yeah.
The guy when he goes to a holy crow.
Yeah.
Suffering snakes.
Yeah. I can't remember, but yeah. I should know that. And he had a secretary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now I like that. And that show in the '60s was great. And of course Bruce Lee was Kato. So he kicked butt. And even in the '60s, both things. Kids, boys, young kids like cars. Mm-hmm. And the Batmobile was great. Yeah. When I was growing up, remember the Batmobile would make appearances at G.I. Joe's or whatever. Mm-hmm. Meet Bruce Ward and the Batmobile.
Right, yeah.
This weekend only at G.I. Joe's. Remember they do that
all the time.
And Playboy Bunny Rose. Yeah, you got to throw a wrestler in there.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
we
are talking. We got to get that.
What?
Wrestling.
Yes.
Local wrestling.
Oh,
Jason and I eventually are going to do something about local wrestling.
Yes. I got the connections. Yes. We can totally
we've been talking about it for quite some time. So.
Yeah. Every once in a while, they will ask me if I still want to do the play-by-play or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I just,
nice, dude.
And I just never, because I used to do for the NWWA.
Yeah, dude.
And so the other guys now, the NWA.
Yeah. Man.
Blue Collar Wrestling.
Man, if you did the play-by-play,
they do it down to
I missed them the last time you guys were doing it.
Yeah, they do it down in North Portland.
That'd be fun. Of course, now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Now
well, maybe we should talk.
Be
like the other stuff, right?
I dig it.
Anyway, so Green Hornet was on TV, and they took it off, and that was a much darker guy. And they both Batman and Green Hornet had their Detective Comics origins, all the Depression stuff, the 1930s. They were vigilantes. They both were. They were original radio serials, and then TV serials. And I have Green Hornet stuff. I have Green Hornet radio serials, and then I have the Green Hornet movie serials, and then I got all the TV stuff. I found them online.
Yeah, I was listening to a couple of the Green Hornet ones last night on the
same formula,
Sirius XM radio.
Yeah, and Batman too.
Batman? Yep.
He had serials, if I remember
correctly. He did. Yeah, all those on Sirius XM, they don't have very many in their catalog.
Yeah, maybe
it's mostly Green Hornet and Superman.
There's a lot of Green Hornet, and I got a whole cassette tape library. It was on cassette.
Yeah.
Years ago, and it was like you could buy it. It was like the beginning of Amazon or whatever.
Yeah.
Like in the late 90s or whatever. But I was like, oh, I'm going to order this. Like when online ordering started. It was oh, look, Green Hornet. I'll buy this whole tape cassette thing.
In fact, I have a Green Hornet funny little story for you. A little anecdote. I was listening to Green Hornet and there was this
But he had a great car. That's,
the Black Beauty. Of course, yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. I mean, he's got the Black Beauty, right?
That has the missiles.
It's the Lincoln Continental with suicide doors.
I think so.
Yeah.
It has the. I think if you move the levers, it has the missiles. Oh, look! You just shot yourself with a Green Hornet missile.
Ah!
You just did it.
The front grill went down.
Yeah.
And it shot.
Well, yeah. Duh.
I love how
you gotta hold it up.
I love how the windscreens are green.
I know.
Yeah. I love it. I'm not gonna push any more buttons. I'm not pushing any more buttons. I'm not gonna do
it. The grills come down and the machine gun. I'll pick it up later. Yeah. There's like a missile in the thing.
Yeah.
And there was like a drone. Wow. Oh wow! It even has a.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. It has functional stuff.
Yeah.
Came with Kato too.
I love. Kato rocks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he ain't putting up with nothing.
Yeah. That's the other thing I liked. Like Batman, of course, dressed like Batman, and Robin dressed like Robin.
Yeah.
But the thing I liked about the Green Hornet always is they almost dressed normal except for their masks.
Right. Yeah, somehow this little piece obscured everything. Like I can't recognize him.
Well, but here's the thing. Oh, That's it. I just figured it out. I figured out, because this mask thing.
Okay.
I just figured it out.
Yeah.
I could get a Green Hornet mask. Because the original, if you look at the original movie serials in the mask, it was full mask.
Yeah, it was.
It covered his and in fact, it was so good in the movies because Green Hornet shows up and goes, all right, you guys, I mean, you're like, did anyone in Hollywood just realize that maybe they should uncover his mouth? Because he's talking like this, you know? Mm-hmm. And if you watch old Batman serials, talk about 1930s cosplay.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's like I watched some and every time the guy shows up as Batman, you're like, did your mommy sew that for you? Right. I mean, he looks so bad.
His face and his cowl and everything are fuzzy.
Well, it looks like. Remember when I did the Space Ghost?
Yes.
And it was hanging down and I couldn't see. That's pretty much like him in the serials. He's like, okay, you guys. And of course, he's got a gun. That's the great thing about Batman. Right. He's got a revolver. It's like, okay, get over there. And he's like trying to look out of his cowl. It's so cheap and cheesy. This is, what are they, 1940s?
Yeah.
Serials, something like that?
Yeah.
1940s, I want to say.
Oh, yeah.
And same with the old Green Hornet ones.
Yeah.
But Green Hornet was a little slicker.
They ran a little bit better than the Batman. The Batmans had much to be desired.
Oh, man, if you watch...
Batman would always get his butt kicked in the old
And he had no
ones.
Batmobile either.
Nope.
He did not have a Batmobile. He actually... Oh, I watched a couple of those old
Didn't he
Batmans.
have a motorcycle or something like that? He used to ride around?
Yeah, I think he did. He might have had the motorcycle. He might have had the sidecar. He didn't have a motorcycle. But in a couple of the serials, he just shows up in this old sedan and he gets out. Like, he's some dude's like, who's the dude in the costume?
Right.
Oh, that's Batman. Oh, okay. Like you know, like nowadays, the movies and stuff, it's like when Batman shows up in his cape and cowl, like you're a bad guy. You're like, oh, you know, it's the theater of the Batman, right?
Right.
But this guy shows up and is like,
yeah, because
who's that guy?
Yeah, Kate's rolling up in the Batmobile, and you're like, "Oh my God, it's the Batmobile, right?" Yeah. But this guy, he rolls up, and it's like,
a sedan.
It's like, hey, that's an Oldsmobile.
And he gets out with a weird thing, but the guy who didn't do that, even in the serials, Green Hornet though.
Yeah.
Green Hornet does have the Black Beauty.
The Black Beauty, man. It's that Lincoln Continental, dude. Suicide Doors.
No, not in the serials though. It's like it's like a.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. You can actually look this up, but it's a hot rod too. Like 1940s hot rod. Ooh. With the lighting and everything. I mean, they were black and white.
Yeah.
But you see him, and even then it's like, well, for the back of the day, this guy still had a ride, man. This guy was still like, whoa, dude.
He's got wheels.
And they made a big deal out of it, too. Oh, and of course, when he drove, the sound was of the Hornet.
Yeah.
Like when they'd have him driving, you know, out in Marin County or wherever they filmed those things out in California. You'd actually see the light, and you hear, you know, and
that was a huge thing on the radio.
And they had the gas gun. Yeah, they had gas gun. And they had the gas gun, and yeah, I mean the vehicle, Green Hornet's vehicle, even back then was sweet, and he shows up in the mask and everything. So Green Hornet was scary.
Yeah,
Batman, not so scary in the serials. We're talking about the serials.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, even Adam West Batman, that was a heck of a step up.
Yeah.
I mean, the Batcave, you had the vehicles, he actually had an outfit, you know.
Alfred.
Yeah, I mean, it was a heck of a step up.
Yeah, but I like the old comics, the old Bob Kane Batman,
but he looked
dark and
but he basically had the traditional costume, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, so what happened with the serials? Because it was awful.
I don't know.
I mean, really, like, I couldn't believe it when I was watching it, how bad the costuming was.
I know what it is.
What?
Budget.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, but then when you watch when you watch the old serials of Green Hornet, they're a lot better.
I don't have an answer to that.
I don't know if the budget was better for Green Hornet,
or is it maybe just
because,
the
like I said,
design?
they actually, he has a ride.
Yeah.
And there's no like I said, and you said motorcycle, and I think you're right. I think
he had a motorcycle.
I think when he had a ride, he was riding a motorcycle. But there were a couple episodes in the serial where he just drives up in a car. I mean, my understanding is the Batmobile came later.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I love that, though.
But the Green Hornet kind of had his ride, the Black Beauty, from the beginning.
Yeah, because how threatening can you be in an Oldsmobile?
I have a theory about that.
No.
I think I know why. You know what the origin of the Green Hornet was? You know who his predecessor, his ancestor, his actual, in the lore, his actual relative. I can't remember who he is, uncle, great uncle, or whatever. Green Hornet, Britt Reed. He's actually, in the lore, he's related to him.
Okay, who's that?
Lone Ranger.
Really?
Yes. And it's the same guy who did the Lone Ranger, did the Green Hornet.
Yeah, that's right.
So if you think about it, Lone Ranger was very popular.
Yep.
Incredibly popular.
Yep.
And think about it. Lone Ranger wore a mask.
Yep.
He was an adventurer. He had his, Tonto. And what did he have? His horse, right?
That's right.
Was his ride, right?
And he calls this the Black Beauty.
And Silver Bullet. And then you get Green Hornet, which is basically the modern version of the Lone Ranger. He's got the ties, same vigilante.
Okay.
Mask. He's got to have a ride. Well, it's not going to be a horse this time. It's going to be a hot car.
Yeah.
Black Beauty. That's probably why he's a little more together.
Continuity.
Yeah.
Same guy.
Yeah. And actually, apparently, he's related to the Lone. He's a descendant of the Lone Ranger. Even Britt Reed.
Gotcha.
So I just thought that was cool when I read that. I was like, no kidding. That makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
I get it.
Whereas Batman kind of started in the comics as the... Was he the Cape Crusader back then? I mean, it was always him like on the top of the building or whatever, looking dead.
In the beginning, they called him the Batman.
Yeah, the Batman.
As, his parents die, he gets shot right in front of him, and it screws up his brain.
Was that in the original comic?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then he decides he's going to be a vigilante. I'm going to right the wrongs of Gotham.
But isn't it like mostly what he's doing is skulking around Gotham? And,
he is. He's on the rooftops,
and
skulking
the rooftops,
around.
Right? Like before a Batmobile or a Bat boat or whatever. Like he's more just kind of like in the shadows.
Oh yeah.
In the city. Yeah. So there you go. But see, I don't think that was Green Hornet. I think from the beginning he's like his thing. Let's get in the ride, Kato. Yep. Yeah. And Kato's the whole thing about Kato is he's not just the driver. He invented the gas gun and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He's actually the inventor.
Yep.
And so the toys that Britt Reed has as the Green Hornet, all that technology is all Kato's lab that he came up with all.
Yeah,
that
and in the Green Hornet though, they're much more even though Kato plays the manservant, but they were much more partners.
But that's his front though.
Yeah. So, right. They were much more partners though. I mean, you're right. Whereas Robin is strictly just sidekick.
Yeah. The only thing they did with Kato is he was Japanese.
Yep.
And then during the war,
they changed it to Filipino.
In the serials, he suddenly became Filipino.
Right.
And they make a very specific his Filipino
houseboy
assistant or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. And then after the war and everything, he's
just kind of
back to being Japanese.
Yeah. Did it ever really come back to being Japanese? Because I always thought
I think so. I mean, they. Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, how did they explain Bruce Lee? Maybe they. That's a good question. I always thought.
I don't think they ever did. I think they just called him Kato and ran with it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Now that you think, because then when they get into Bruce Lee,
yeah,
yeah, he's not. But he's Kato though,
he's Kato.
Kind of
I know.
Be a Japanese name.
Yeah.
Not a Filipino name, not a...
Yeah, but back then, not many people could really...
That's a good point, though.
Discern between
I don't think... Because I don't think they ever brought it up in the TV series.
No.
Because then it would be like, but...
He was just Kato.
Lee is playing that guy. He's not Japanese,
Yep.
He's Asian.
He's Asian.
But, and they did have, like, side stories with him... going back to Chinatown and stuff. There's a really good episode.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to check that out.
I may be able to help you out.
I dig it.
Hey, look, if they're out of print,
They're online though, right? Most of them.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that often.
Yeah. They can be found and.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? For years, in fact, I have one DVD that I bought. Talking about. There was this time when the first online like Amazon and stuff started.
Yeah.
And what did I do?
But
I searched Green Hornet stuff because it was like, you know what show I really liked that I'd love to see? Green Hornet. And then I found the tapes and serials and stuff. It's like, go buy yourself some stuff. I'm going to get some of this Green Hornet stuff. I always liked this guy, you know?
Yeah.
And then I found one DVD with a few episodes on it and a nice little documentary about the car.
Really?
Yeah, about the Black Beauty. But you couldn't find, there was never... It may have changed recently, but in all the time I never could find like, here's the box set of all the remastered. Didn't exist.
I don't know. That'd be awesome.
It played on Nick or something like that, or it played on the cables, and some people made good recordings.
And the radio show's always on Sirius XM, the radio classics.
See, and I think the radio, I would guess. Probably good chance the radio serials are public domain now, because so many of those radio serials are public domain. Yeah. Even a lot of the movie serials are public domain.
I have an interesting anecdote about.
Yeah.
There's this character actor. He's always in the Green Hornet, and he has this very distinct.
Which one?
The radio.
Oh, okay.
And he's very distinct accent. And I was like, who is this guy? Who is it? I could never find out who he was. And so I'm sitting there like, how am I gonna find out? Well, first I got on the internet. And
I could guess who it might be.
That answered nothing. And so I wrote an email to the guy that hosts the channel.
Oh, nice.
Sirius XM. His name is Greg Bell, and he wrote me back.
Nice.
And I said, hey, who is this guy? And he goes. And then he wrote back this long backstory about who it was.
Oh, wow.
About how they did the show back, the old radio serials were done in Detroit. Mm-hmm. And this guy was a Detroit native, and he did a lot of the shows that came through Detroit, like The Lone Ranger, Green Hornet, and the Superman serials.
Oh, wow.
And so his name was Paul... I can't remember his last name.
Paul.
But the guy knew who he was, right? And
wow.
he gave me the link to this website that his daughter had set up in memoriam of the guy.
Oh, wow.
So she's like, that guy with the cool accent that everyone always wondered who it was. Well, this is who it is. And I'm like, aha, this is just for me,
Oh, wow.
And so, it's really cool. His name's Paul, Paul Frazier? Paul Lawrence, something like that. And
I would thought you were going to say it was a Frank Cannon.
Frank Cannon,
because he did a lot of radio stuff.
Oh, huge! Gunsmoke.
I always say like Robert Conrad, but that's
Robert Conrad
just died.
Yeah.
No, but that's not Robert Conrad. That's
William Conrad.
William Conrad.
Bill Conrad.
Bill Conrad.
Yeah, he did. He got his chops on Gunsmoke.
Yeah.
Did it for like 10 or 12 years on the radio. And, of course, he was all over the place. I mean, the guy has literally hundreds and hundreds of radio shows that he did as a kind of a character actor, and then he went on to TV. Frank Cannon.
Well, that's your Star Wars story. Empire Strikes Back yesterday, 40 years ago. And a few days before that, it was Mount St. Helens 40 years ago, which is really weird.
Only the Curmudgeons can go from Star Wars to Frank Cannon. I mean, only we can dovetail it around there.
And speaking of going, it's about 2 hours now.
That's right.
And like clockwork.
So stare at the Polynesian sunset and think to yourself, it's going to be a great weekend.
Oh, Memorial Day weekend.
That's right.
Have a good one. And we'll be back with special stuff.